Okay, continuing where we were last night, we're going to finish section 1. We ended yesterday with bone formation, remembering that babies are born with cartilage, then the osteoblasts build up the bone, and then as the bone cells die, osteoclasts break down the bone and release calcium and phosphorus back into the bloodstream. So now we are on page 10, 11, 12. And we've got movable joints. We're going to see that that's a red heading, so that will be a number. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to make a new blue heading because I believe that we need a section called joints. I don't believe that joints should be under bone formation. So you're going to put a capital letter D for joints. We are making this up, pretending there's a big blue heading right here, but there's not. All right, immovable joints, number 1. So we're going to look at this, and it's hard to understand that a joint can't move. That's what that means. A joint doesn't move, but a joint is really where two bones join together. So we've got some immovable joints in our body. Refer to figure 4 as you learn about different types of joints. Joints are broadly classified as immovable or movable. An immovable joint allows little or no movement. The joints of the bones in your skull and pelvis are classified as immovable joints. So remember, we've talked about as an infant, your skull was different bones. And if you've seen on the Anatomy for Kids game on the tablets, that you have different parts of your skull. You have your parietal bone and your frontal bone. So those are the different joints, the different bones in your skull that are connected by immovable joints. So we know that an immovable joint allows little or no movement, and that the skull and pelvis have immovable joints. They are not solid bones. All right, now we're going to read about movable joints. This is all the rest of your body. All movements, including somersaulting and working the controls of a video game, require movable joints. A movable joint allows the body to make a wide range of motions. There are several types of movable joints. There's the pivot, ball and socket, hinge, and gliding. Now these are going to be our sections that we're going to outline. Okay, this is going to make us a list. Our last list actually was numbered. Remember when we had the functions of the skeleton? Well, in this section here, they didn't number them, but you can see here a third type, a fourth type. So we should find second type. Okay, so we're going to need to find what is a pivot. And let's go back here. All right. In a pivot joint, one bone rotates in a ring of another bone that does not move. Turning your head is an example of a pivot movement. This is a pivot joint right here. So this is your cervical vertebrae, and it allows your neck to move back and forth. Okay, so a movable joint allows a wide range of motions, and pivot is defined that one bone rotates in ring of another, and e.g., this is Latin for meaning, like an example, ergo is a neck. Second one is a ball and socket. Consists of a bone with a rounded end that fits in a cup-like cavity on another bone. A ball and socket joint provides a wider range of motion than a pivot joint does. That's why your legs and arms can swing in almost any direction. So tomorrow when you come into class, tell me where your ball and socket joints are in your arms and legs. Ball and socket, rounded end that fits in a cup. Example, your shoulders and hips. Third type of joint is a hinge joint. This joint has a back and forth movement like hinges on a door. Elbows, knees, and fingers have hinge joints. Hinge joints have a smaller range of motion than the ball and socket joint. They are not dislocated as easily or pulled apart as ball and socket joints can be. Hinge joints back and forth. Example, elbows and knees. Okay, you can dislocate your shoulder. You dislocate fingers. Sometimes you jam your finger, don't you? Knees have their own share of problems because they're complicated joints. Fourth type of joint is a gliding joint, in which one part of a bone slides over another. You know you need cartilage for that, don't you? Gliding joints also move in a back and forth motion and are found in your wrists and ankles and between the vertebrae. Gliding joints are used the most in your body. You can't write a word, use a joystick, or take a step without using a gliding joint. Okay, so there's an example of a gliding joint and your vertebrae there. Do you remember what these little things are between the vertebrae? We may have done it in I know fourth period did in their web quest. All right, E, gliding. One part slides over another. Example, wrists, ankles, and vertebrae. Okay, next page. All right, moving smoothly. This is horrible. Ick, ick, ick. When you rub two pieces of chalk together, ugh, I can't even imagine. Gives me the willies. Their surfaces begin to wear away and they get reshaped. Without the protection of the cartilage at the end of your bones, they also would wear away at the joints. Cartilage helps make joint movement easier, reduces friction, and allows bones to slide more easily over each other. Shown in Figure 5, pads of cartilage called discs are located between the vertebrae in your back. They act as a cushion and prevent injury to your spinal cord. A fluid that comes from nearby blood vessels that also lubricates the joints. Okay, so here's an x-ray of the backbone. Discs of cartilage are between the vertebrae. So these are the discs of cartilage, I think. I don't know why they're purple. Okay. So tomorrow in class, I want you to answer this question for me on the clicker. Why is cartilage important? Okay, so we have a red heading. That's going to be number 3, moving smoothly, all about cartilage. Cartilage keeps bones from rubbing. Cartilage between the vertebrae is called discs. Sorry. Common joint problems. Arthritis is the most common joint problem. The term arthritis describes more than 100 different diseases that can damage the joints. About 1 out of every 7 people in the U.S. suffers from arthritis. All forms of arthritis begin with the same symptoms: pain, stiffness, and swelling of the joints. 2 types of arthritis are osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Osteoarthritis results when cartilage breaks down because of years of use. Rheumatoid arthritis is an ongoing condition in which the body's immune system tries to destroy its own tissues. Okay, both of these are very painful. Which of these do you think happens because of age? Okay, tell me tomorrow. All right, common joint problems. Number 4, last one. Arthritis is most common problem. I don't think I finished that. Most common joint problem. Sorry. Most common joint problem. Osteoarthritis, cartilage breaks down. Rheumatoid arthritis is something with your immune system when your immune system breaks down the tissue. And we're going to talk about the immune system later on. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful evening. Be prepared for school tomorrow. It's Thursday night. Tomorrow is Friday. And I will talk to you later. How many blood cells were made in this 9-minute